Hello, Taurus. This is your general reading for the month of November. Remember, this is a general reading, so it may not entirely resonate with everyone, but you can also check out the videos for your sun, moon, and rising signs, depending on which one this is for you. If you're curious about what's happening with your career or life's purpose, you can always check out the video for the sign that corresponds to your North Node, which is all about your life's purpose. Okay, so just a little disclaimer, sometimes I swear. It also depends on how loud spirit guides get and how salty they choose to be. And I also do burp occasionally. It just means I'm channeling and the energy's coming out somehow. Sometimes it also means releasing. Okay, so here is your general reading for Taurus for the month of November 2018. So it looks like you guys are experiencing a bit of lack of ambition. There's something happening where you're feeling disappointed. And with the Knight of Wands in reverse. So this card usually represents ambition. So I feel like there's something blocking it, something where you're feeling really frustrated and possibly out of balance with Justice in reverse. Usually this card represents an external balance in your life. You know, the other elements in your life outside of your emotions, but more like work, friends, family, home, all those things. And so because those things are out of balance, you're choosing to leave something behind with the Eight of Cups here. So this usually means, I feel like there's something that you're working on and you get partway through and you're like, fuck it, I'm done. Don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to slip away in the middle of the night because I'm fed up. And it could be a relationship. It may not necessarily have to do with career, but it could also just be a working relationship, or there's a relationship that's influencing the situation, you know, however it applies to you. Because the Two of Cups means it's not a symbiotic relationship. Two of Cups in reverse means it's not symbiotic. You're not feeding each other. It's not an even exchange. It's not a happy dynamic. And so it could also just be a relationship with your boss or a particular coworker. It could be a romantic relationship, you know, however it applies for you. But it's making you feel imbalanced. It's affecting your ambition. It's affecting, I feel like, your life drive, I'm hearing. Like your life force. So you've also got the Hanged Man in reverse, which I feel means you've been in a similar position for a long time where you're kind of stuck. And usually this is about changing your perspective, but I'm getting more of like an impatient energy with this, where you're kind of like, look, I've been here. I don't want to do this anymore. So I feel like that applies to that relationship or that situation. You know, you're like, I'm done. We're not communicating well. Things aren't going well. There's not a solid foundation. 10 of Pentacles is usually all about strong family life or related to money, having that solid base, and you're not feeling it, or it's not there. This can also mean communication issues. I'm hearing the phrase "ne'er the twain shall meet." So basically with that card in reverse, I always see that as like one person saying something, someone saying something else, and you might even be saying the same thing or complementary things, but you literally can't hear each other. You're having some kind of situation where you just can't get through it. So you're looking for new opportunities with the Page of Swords. I always see this card as she's on the lookout for whatever's coming next, and she's prepared. She's got her sword drawn. She knows something's going on. So it feels like if that's the case, you know, you're leaving something behind. And I feel that if you've been thinking about it, you've been thinking about leaving something behind, this could also just be saying now's the time. Or, well, what I'm hearing is now's your chance. However that applies. I just keep hearing frustrated. You guys are not feeling the best. So the Knight of Pentacles upright is a good card. This usually means that there's something that you're working toward, and it's at a slow plodding pace. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight where the horse has all 4 feet on the ground. Actually, I think there's one more, but this horse is like there, you know, it is connected. This is earth sign energy. So this is you guys too. You know, this is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is that slow, methodical process. So I feel like this could also apply to something that you guys are thinking of doing. And it could, if that's the case, it's saying slow and steady wins the race. But I feel like at the same time, whatever it is with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, which is not that, in some ways not that different from the Knight of Pentacles, this one, because he's so focused on that coin, I feel like it's not all about the money. You know, it's not just about that. It almost feels like there's something new that you guys want to do, but you're afraid. And it's something that has a lot of feminine and water energy around it. So it could be dealing with women, some kind of female-based business, or something where you'll be working with a lot of women or dealing with a lot of women. Maybe thinking about dating a lot of women. But I feel a fear around the emotions aspect. There's a part of you that thinks there's going to be so many feelings involved. And not that you're afraid of that, but you kind of don't want to deal with it. That's more the energy I'm feeling. Because you have the Fool in reverse. So it feels like there's something new that you could be doing and you kind of don't want to do it. You're afraid of it. But you do have the Ace of Swords upright. So it's interesting because the energies around these feel different. And there's a part of you that feels like, if this is some kind of thing where I'm just like, la-da-da-da-da, let me go jump off a cliff, maybe it'll work out. Fuck that. That's what I feel like you guys are saying. But if it's something where I'm like, we're going to make a decision, we're going to make this shit happen, and it's going to happen, and we're going to be victorious, and you get to use more of your smarts. I'm hearing whip smarts, so some of you this may apply to. You get to use your smarts, your intellectual abilities. You know, you really get to step up to the plate and show what you're made of. And it's almost like fighting for what you're worth. Because these are very different cards. This one's a little bit more idealistic, more of that, la, 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 let me just, you know, take this flower and jump off a cliff with my little dog. Whereas this one's like, I've got the power! So I would say if that's how you feel, you know, if this is really the energy that you're feeling tapped into, of more of that aggressive, like, I'm also hearing spiritual though, but it's still like sort of an assertive, dynamic energy, you know, harness that, tap into that. If that's how you're feeling, you know, I'm hearing do it for your highest good. And so one thing that you can do while that's with that in mind is to, when you're talking to your spirit guides, because your spirit guides are always with you and they want to make sure that you accomplish whatever it is that you set out to do. So you can say, you know, and sort of have a pep talk with them, and you could do this every day if there's a specific goal that you want to do each day, or if this is just a general thing, you can always talk to them and say, okay, I want to get these things done. I want to do this. And this energy, this is what I want to harness. But I want to make sure it's for my highest good and for the highest good of whoever's involved. That way you know it's being divinely guided and it's not coming from an energy that's meant to hurt anyone. Because while this might be sort of an aggressive, assertive energy, I feel like you guys don't want to pull any punches. You know, I keep hearing that phrase. That you want things to be direct. I'm hearing outlandish. So maybe you have an idea out there, the idea that you think is a little bit out there, but you're still really excited about it and you feel like it's totally marketable. It's something that's very appealing, that you can do that. So what's interesting too is you got the High Priestess in reverse. This card doesn't come up a lot, number one, because this is about female, mystical, spiritual energy. And also about sort of the aspects of the dark and the light within that. But this card can also represent secrets. So I feel that whatever this is, especially if it involves this feminine energy, it could be, especially if it's something that is a spirit, has a spiritual inclination of, I just keep getting not being afraid of that. Not being afraid of that aspect of knowing that no one's coming out to harm you. And I feel like this is the case, especially if you're dealing with women and possibly witches. And you can always ask for protection beforehand, but it really feels with this card like you might be a little afraid that someone's out to get you, but really no one is. I don't really feel like, I feel like the whoever you're dealing with is just sort of existing. And they're not necessarily out to get you. They might mess with you a little bit because it's fun, especially if you get kind of freaked out about what they're into. But okay. So if you're feeling indecisive, the Two of Swords in reverse. Now this could also mean that you've you passed the point of impasse and you're like, fuck it, I'm making a decision. We're going to do this. Because usually this card is about you're kind of stuck and you're not really sure what to do. And what I'm hearing too is take charge. Either that or delegate to a fire sign, Leo, Sag, or Aries. So I feel like with this, it can also, or it can even be tap into your creative side, because this is to do with creativity, action, communication, fire. So it almost feels like, because the salamander is on this card, which in this means it's the animal that doesn't get burned by fire. If you have to delegate something, delegate it to the person who's not going to get burnt. That's what I'm getting. And translate that as you will, however it applies to your life. Because I feel like you have that one person who's like, I'm not afraid. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. You know, they just go in and they're like, okay, here's what's going on. And if they get some pushback, they're like, all right, well, we can work through that. I'm not afraid of this. But I'm also feeling in this situation, I feel like this applies to you, the Five of Swords. Don't be underhanded. Don't be conniving or dishonest. I'm hearing be truthful, be forthright. So whatever this situation is where you feel uncomfortable, be honest, or at least I'm just hearing be forthright with whoever it is that you're working with, you know. Don't pull any punches. Don't be underhanded. And you also may be dealing with someone who feels like if you're not 100% upfront, then you are being underhanded, that you're not being honest. And so I think it's important to keep that in mind, whatever it is, however this applies to you, because if the person that you're dealing with, you know that they already have that kind of energy, where if you tell them 90% of the truth, they'll call you a liar, then you'll need to lay your cards out on the table and really spell it out and be like, this is what we're doing together. So that way they know. Because I feel a lot of you are watching this going, yeah, I know that. So it feels like you might be going through some type of existential crisis of some sort with the moon. Now, this can also relate to the tame side, the dog, and then the wild side, the wolf, both barking inside of you. And you're not really sure which one to listen to more. Now, this could relate to different aspects of your life because you got the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So this is your element. This is Earth. It also could be that you're dealing with another Earth sign. Another Taurus or a Virgo or a Capricorn. Possibly female. Possibly a female who's wealthy and possibly a stingy male. And those could be vice versa. The female, the Queen of Pentacles energy feels more kind, more stable. There's something about her, though, that you feel like you can't trust. And the Four of Pentacles, I feel more like this applies to you guys right now, with maybe feeling some insecurity about money or stability, of feeling like things aren't really going the way that you want. And it could also be that we're coming up on the holidays. So for those of you that are worrying about buying presents or visiting your family, being able to pay for things, you're feeling some insecurity there. But this also relates to feelings. So it could also be some of you may have broken up with someone who was an earth sign, or someone, or maybe if it wasn't an earth sign, someone who is financially stable, has nice things, because you got the Three of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Swords in reverse. So you got double endings here. And with these cards, it's usually, when these cards are in reverse, I know that they look kind of scary because you've got heartbreak and like a death, right? But usually the way that when these are in reverse, especially this one, I often see this as the worst phase of the heartbreak is over. So however that relates in your life, whether that's work, love, friendship, I'm hearing marriage, maybe some of you are getting over something. When it's in reverse, it means you've already gone through the darkest nights of the soul when it comes to this relationship. You know, you've already gone through the worst parts possible, and you're starting to see the light again, or at least you will soon. So for those of you who are like, oh my God, this is brutal, it's coming to an end. Same with this. I usually feel that, you know, with this card, I always see it as whatever is dead, let it die. It's don't have a pulse. It stopped bleeding. Rigor mortis is set in. That's it. You know, you're done. And so with it's in reverse, I feel like it's okay. Time to let go. Time to move on. And I feel like that could relate to a relationship because you also got the Ten of Cups in reverse. So I feel that it could be, for some of you, this might be the first time you're celebrating the holidays without a particular person. And that could be someone who passed sometime earlier this year. It could also be someone who you broke up with. Or both. And so you could be feeling some sadness there. Or it could even be that something, because with the Ace of Pentacles, there's that earth element again, but I feel like it could be a job that didn't go through. Job that didn't come through. Follow through. Didn't work out. But I feel like it also could be that someone offered you something that didn't come to fruition. So it could be some type of offering a new job opportunity, a new relationship, something that didn't work out. And you're feeling sad about that. You know, you're feeling sad that it never really came to be what you thought it would be. However that applies to your life. But you have an opportunity here to build something new. Ooh. And you guys are going through it this month. So you have an opportunity to build a new structure with new friends, new family celebrations. I also feel like whatever it is that you're celebrating this month, whether it's Thanksgiving or a birthday, anniversary, whatever, holiday, anything, promotion, whatever it is that you want, enjoying it, enjoying being with the people around you, because you've got some other stuff going on. You know, you have the Lovers here in reverse, which can also mean that you either have a relationship that's not working out, or you have to make a decision, and it feels like that decision might have been to quit a job, and so there's a part of you that's also worried about financial poverty. You know, you are having a lack of communication, lack of forward movement, you're feeling defensive. So, let's see if they have any good news for you. With this, I'm hearing, remember your power, because you've got the Empress in reverse, but this card is a lot of Earth energy, Earth Mother energy. So I feel like it's tapping into that. With the Sun in reverse, you have some blessings in your life, but you're not necessarily seeing them or recognizing them. You could also be experiencing some depression, and you may feel like there's something that happened where you weren't victorious with the Six of Wands in reverse. So I feel like, you know, there are some blessings going on, but you may not be fully recognizing them. And what I'm hearing is practice gratitude. But with this, especially with the Seven of Pentacles, this card is about acknowledging that you're working toward a goal. You know, this guy's working, he's harvesting this. There's no fruit yet. Not yet. But it's coming. And so I think, is the Earth sign getting impatient? I think it could be that you're feeling like it's something that you're working toward isn't really paying off. And if that's the case, I feel like I'm hearing practice gratitude, but also finding a balance. Now, this card also represents Sagittarius, so it could also mean that Sagittarius season might be a little bit better for you, which is the second half of this month and the first half of December. So it could be that moving from the water energy, the transformation energy of Scorpio, into that fire action energy of Temperance might be better for you. It could also be because Sagittarius is a little bit similar with Thanksgiving and that desire to indulge. You know, as Taurus, you guys like the finer things in life. You like the bling, you like the nice stuff. And so I feel like part of that is recognizing that, owning it, you know, doing something that makes you feel nice or special this month to cheer yourself up. Anyway, that is your general reading for the month of November, and I will see you next month. I hope you guys have a wonderful month.